Colorado's first known voter fraud case involves the husband accused of murdering his missing wife and now casting her ballot for President Trump. Colorado's public health leaders say it's safe enough to ditch our masks. The numbers tell a different story, so let's explore this a little bit more, along with some of your very personal thoughts on how you see your habits changing and not.
I have decided to continue to wear my mask indoors when at public places.
Also, she's good. Like, world-class good. But she doesn't like people to know.
I've only told like a few of them because I am trying to be humble.
That's cool. Mind if we tell everyone? On next. Man's been shot dead by police on the west side of Denver within the last hour. Video from a witness in the neighborhood shows a vehicle surrounded by a whole lot of officers and then a barrage of gunfire. This happened just more than an hour ago at First and Perry in the Barnum neighborhood. Neighbors who were nearby told us they saw that car fly through the neighborhood and then that gunfire. Denver police say that they were chasing the person in the car following another report of shots fired. Denver police just told our Noel Brennan that multiple officers opened fire after they said that the person in the car threatened them with a handgun. That person was taken to the hospital, a man, but did not survive. We have a crew out there gathering additional information. As we learn it, we will get it to you. So we have talked about the incentives for people to get vaccinated. Well, today the governor offered another big one. Get the shot, and you can ditch the mask most everywhere. It's the same as the federal guidelines that came down yesterday. Let's bring in Anusha Roy now to talk about how dropping the mask mandate in Colorado, Anusha, lines up or doesn't with what Colorado is seeing in terms of new COVID cases and vaccinations.
Kyle, this is a big moment, right, in the pandemic, but everyone was really clear today. We're not out of the pandemic yet, but the governor was saying it's safe enough for people who are fully vaccinated, that's important to pay attention to basically ditch the mask in a lot of different situations. Of course, there are places the governor said that it's still a good idea. He's talking about hospitals, some businesses, some schools as well. We're also seeing counties relaxing some restrictions as we're heading into the weekend. But like you were talking about, we've also been having this ongoing conversations about fluctuating vaccine demands. We're also still seeing new COVID cases and people being hospitalized because of the virus. So how do you reconcile both of those happening at the same time?
We're not at a zero case threshold, but we are at a place where we have hard-standing evidence that suggests that vaccines are playing a major role in both not only curbing infections, but also preventing transmission.
So the state said that cases in Colorado have gone down over the last 2 weeks. Hospitalizations have gone down in the last couple of days. Those tend to lag about a week or two behind. But again, right, we've seen these ebbs and flows with these metrics before. So I chatted with Dr. Connie Price at Denver Health saying, what is it about this situation that we need to understand better? And she said this time around, we have enough supplies to keep working our way out of this pandemic.
Definitely true if you don't have an ample supply of vaccine, but we do have an ample supply. It is available for anyone who wants to get it.
So with that said, masks and COVID precautions are still really important, right, for people who are not vaccinated, for people who are in between their doses as well. And what the summer looks like for us, it's going to depend on how many people are going to additionally be vaccinated in the coming weeks. And the governor said that, you know, with the with the guidance that he put out today, that businesses are going to have their own rules. And some people are just going to opt as well to keep their masks on. And he's asking people just to respect what those choices are.
Anusha, we have seen everything from T-shirts to literal shots used to incentivize people to get the vaccine. And maybe this is just kind of one other nudge for people to say, you know what, I'm just going to get it and move on with life.
Yeah, that's definitely something we were thinking about. And then we kept hearing it throughout the day from the governor, from the doctors as well, saying they know people are still on the fence about whether they want to get the vaccine or not. They said maybe this will serve as another reason to go get it because it would change what your day-to-day life looks like, Kyle.
Anisha, thank you so much. So nearly 2.3 million Coloradans, 39% of the population, have completed the vaccination process. And that includes Veronica and Henry, who got their shots today and emailed this afternoon to say, for accurate reporting, please move us from the green pie slice to the light blue slice. You got it, Veronica and Henry. Congratulations. Colorado's COVID hospitalizations are back under 600 people for the first time since April. 582 patients. That's down 21 in a day. That's great. And down 85 patients from this time last week. Colorado now has its first known criminal case of voter fraud from November's election. And you've heard of the guy. Barry Morphew, the man accused of murdering his missing wife, Suzanne, allegedly admitted to investigators that he voted her ballot for President Trump. Politics guy Marshall Zellinger explains how the process that county clerks use to find fraud found it.
This is a sample ballot envelope from Chaffee County. In October, the county clerk received a ballot sealed in an envelope like this. This empty area is where the voter's name is printed with a barcode. The name printed on the envelope? Suzanne Morphew. She's been missing since May 2020. According to the Chaffee County clerk, a bipartisan team of signature verification judges noticed no one had signed where it says voter signature required, but someone had signed the witness area, her husband, Barry Morphew, the man now charged with murdering her.
I felt I should contact the sheriff when I saw the name.
Normally what happens when there is no signature or a signature discrepancy, the clerk sends out a letter like this, letting the voter know there's an issue with their signature and they have up to 8 days after the election to cure or fix the issue. Democratic County Clerk Lori Mitchell sent a letter like this addressed to Suzanne Morphew.
We still completed our statutory requirement by sending out this cure letter. No one responded.
When no one responds or responds by saying they never filled out a ballot, the clerk is supposed to turn over the sealed ballot envelopes to the district attorney to investigate. With Suzanne Morphew's ballot, the clerk called the sheriff.
He sent a deputy over and I made a chain of custody log and turned the ballot over. He bagged and tagged it, but it was sealed when it left my custody.
Until a signature is verified, the envelope is never opened. That call to the sheriff led to the FBI getting involved. According to this warrant, FBI agents asked Barry Morphew last month why he submitted Suzanne's ballot. Just because I wanted Trump to win, he said. I figured all those other guys are cheating. I know she was going to vote for Trump anyway. The FBI agent asked Barry if he knew that was illegal. Barry said, I didn't know you couldn't do that for your spouse.
Sometimes it's an honest mistake. It could be a household switch. In this case, it couldn't have been a household switch because Mr. Morphew voted his ballot as well.
I confirmed that with the Secretary of State's office, which shows Barry Morphew has only voted in Colorado once, this past November.
I reached out to a handful of county clerks and DA's offices today. The question for the clerks, how many ballots did you turn over to the DA's office because of signature concerns? The question for the DA's office is, have you charged anyone yet? I have two examples so far. The Denver DA, Kyle, is seeking charges of mail ballot forgery in one case. I don't have the details in that just yet. The person has not been charged. There's a warrant out for his arrest. In Weld County, the clerk turned over 1,400 sealed ballots to the DA's office for investigation. 14 of them were from people who returned that signature verification form saying, I never turned in a ballot, which suggests something might be up that the DA is looking into. The Weld County DA, however, has not charged anyone in any of those cases.
And Marshall, we should be clear, the only reason why we know who Barry Morphew cast the ballot for, President Trump, is because he shared that with investigators.
In no situation is a ballot that has a signature issue opened or counted. It is still sealed when it goes to the DA's office for investigation as to why that ballot got turned in the first place, so it never counted, and the clerk never knows which names are bubbled in.
All right, Marshall, thank you. So there are pockets of Colorado that are far from grocery stores and fresh food, or they might as well be far away because of the transportation barriers for people in the neighborhood. That is where Food Bank of the Rockies comes in with its mobile pantries. 80 refrigerated truckloads go out a week, near and far. It's a food bank on wheels. And you have raised $19,000 since Wednesday to expand their work across Colorado through your Word of Thanks campaign. Whole bunch of good people chipping in $5 at a time goes a long way. We've learned that lesson a while ago. Text the word thanks to 303-871-1491, and I'll send you that link to join me and others in donating. You know the drill. This is that $5 good feeling that lasts all weekend, to be able to say, you know what, I heard about a problem in Colorado, and me and a bunch of other people, we did a little something about it. Feels great. Thank you.
There was a time in early 2020 when masks seemed foreign and then became the norm.
Mask mandates are going away. But will your mask stay?
And my mind went immediately to being able to sing in church services again without wearing a mask.
Next, viewers offer highly personal thoughts on a highly personal topic. And your Friday good news is our collective reason to smile. Next. Denver police just offered their first kind of comprehensive start-to-finish account of the events that led to officers shooting and killing a man on the west side of town about an hour ago. I want to give you the chronology offered by Denver police, the only account of this that we have at this point. They were checking out a report of a gun fired near a playground on Morrison Road. They show up, there's a chase that goes from Denver into Lakewood back into Denver. Denver police claim that the suspect fired at them during the chase, then crashed at First and Perry. Officers surrounded the vehicle, ordered the person out. They claimed that this person went for a gun, and that was the barrage of gunfire in that witness video that we showed you at the beginning of the program tonight. Multiple officers firing into the vehicle, and the suspect was shot and killed. That, again, is the initial report of Denver police of what happened on the west side of town. Our Noel Brennan and others are over there talking to witnesses, gathering other information. We'll keep you updated across the networks of 9 News. So Colorado and the feds are lifting the mask rules in most places for people who are fully vaccinated. Ultimately, though, I mean, it's up to you and when you feel like it's time for you to change your habits. Our team went through a pile of emails that you sent us last night when we talked about this, sharing your thoughts, and followed up so that a few of you might, well, share with the class.
And I've come up with 3 personal guidelines that I'm going to try to adhere to. First is find out what the rules are in the place I want to go.
By making the commitment to wear one at work, our small business remained open as best we could.
I think it's unfair that we ask businesses to be the policeman on this.
Second is if I feel uncomfortable, add some protection, a mask or social distancing.
I'm a pancreatic cancer survivor. We wear masks anywhere where there is a confined space because of my compromised immune system.
And third is respect the fact that others, including people in my own group, might make different choices.
My mind went immediately to being able to sing in church services again. So this is going to be a great blessing.
I am worried that our vaccines will not continue to be effective against the new variants. I might catch an asymptomatic case of the virus and unknowingly take it back to my grandkids.
I live in a rural community that leans towards science denial. So even though my family and I have been fully vaccinated, I'm going to be wearing a mask in stores and other indoor businesses for a while.
It's been a really hard year for all of us. And I'm as tired as wearing masks as everybody else. But I've worked in healthcare for 30 years. I will be wearing my mask when I'm in public.
I choose to look back and even forward with the attitude that masks gave us a way through.
You are helping protect the people like me.
To all those still wearing a mask for any reason, may you be granted grace and respect.
Some thoughts from your neighbors. Another viewer, Peter, out in Wiggins, wrote in to say how much he loved the story I shared last night about the guy in front of me in the pharmacy line who was so joyful about getting the vaccine yesterday. And Peter's request of us was simple: more of that joy. So the 249th edition of your Friday Good News is Vaccine Joy. Angie told us about the drive-through clinic at the ranch in Loveland, that it was just overflowing with joy. The staff writing on windshields to keep things organized, and they added a smiley face on the back window for her son. They left it there till the snow took it off. Sean celebrated her birthday as well as St. Patrick's Day with the best kind of shot. So Sean, here is a toast to many more birthdays to come with family and friends much closer at hand. And Donna's vaccine joy, measured by the arms of a 5-year-old, wrapping them around her grandparents for the first time in almost 2 years. These scenes of joy are contagious, so we ask that you keep sharing them with us, including on the next Facebook page. So, you'd like to become one of the best piano players in the world. How would you go about doing that?
Play an hour a day, and I have a lesson each week. I've been playing for about 12 years.
She's 16. 16 minus 12. Okay, it is too late for you and me to get started, so we'll just listen to the work of Colorado's piano prodigy. Next. What was your biggest focus at age 16? Kayla Wong's is on becoming one of the best in the world at her craft. The teenager from Golden was recently named a finalist in the Bradshaw and Bono International Piano Competition. If you're not sure, that's a big deal. So is she, yet she still made time for us little people. She hung out with our Tom Cole.
I like to be unique and play my pieces differently than other people. I try not to really focus on the notes because I usually have them in my fingers already. The thundery part and the angry part kind of makes me really tired because it makes my arms hurt, but I really enjoy it because it helps me express my feelings and emotions. What's important for me with piano is the expression, because I think that I like to communicate and like take it to the next level with that, like the dynamics and stuff. I think I sometimes get inspiration looking outside in nature. Being recognized means a lot to me because I actually entered the competition 2 years ago and did not place, but I tried again this year and it just showed like my personal improvement and perseverance.
What a talent. More of your smart feedback about masks next. Cammie wrote in wondering how we'll know who's fully vaccinated, who's lying about it so they can skip the mask. Honestly, Cammie, if we're vaccinated, it doesn't much matter to us. Michelle writes in to say, who's protecting the children if we're not wearing masks? Michelle, what we know is that COVID's risk to kids is pretty similar to the flu. So, as the father of 2 young kids, I plan to take standard flu precautions. No sick visitors, keep them out of super crowded places. See you next time.